is out against the Lynx, and it is a pity because Paige has been very good. She's been very good this season. Again, the
WNBA's brightest rookie is stuck in a nightmare no athlete should ever have to deal with, getting hurt by someone on her own team. Paige Bueckers, the once-in-a-generation talent who was expected to turn things around for the Dallas Wings, is still sidelined with injuries. And the cause? Playing next to one of the league's most reckless players, DiJonai Carrington. The league's silence on dangerous play is putting young stars at risk, and it's ruining careers before they even get started.
I don't believe DiJonai Carrington is going to make it throughout the season, man. Fans is demanding for her to be banned from the league because she did 2 dirty plays in her matchup yesterday against the Seattle Storm. Yes, 2 dirty plays plus a flagrant foul. This is starting to become a habit for DiJonai Carrington, and as of right now, it's looking real spooky for her.
Let's start with the harsh reality Paige Bueckers is facing right now. The #1 draft pick, who came into the league with massive hype and the kind of superstar potential that packs arenas, is now stuck in a frustrating cycle of injuries. And what's shocking is how those injuries seem to line up with her time playing near DiJonai Carrington, whose aggressive and risky play style is raising serious red flags.
Again, like, it happens once a game right now, and how DiJonai Carrington did not get called for a flagrant foul like on this, she has the greatest whistle of all time, because, like, look, how many times does this need to happen before like this is going viral even on.
Paige Bueckers suffered a concussion after a tough collision in late May, forcing her to miss 4 critical games. But here's what makes this so frustrating. It's not just some random injury or the usual grind of pro basketball. The concussion happened on May 29th in a game against the Chicago Sky, and while DiJonai Carrington didn't directly cause it, the timing raises eyebrows. It fits a disturbing trend. Wherever Carrington goes, injuries seem to follow.
Is right here. That's a hard foul, and she does get her in the face.
Did she come back and hit her in the face? My goodness, I told y'all, she's a professional UFC fighter.
When she's coming down with her hand.
I mean, this is just not a good look for DiJonai Carrington. I'm telling you, she's on thin ice, bro.
Paige Bueckers was placed in concussion protocol after initially showing no symptoms during the game, but by the next day she was dealing with headaches and other worrying signs. That setback forced her to miss key matchups against Seattle, Los Angeles, and Minnesota, games that were crucial for a Dallas Wings team already struggling with a 1-9 record.
Listed as probable, downgraded to out. You don't always see that. Can you give us any update on how she's doing?
Just dealing with an illness and just being extremely cautious and supportive as an organization, so hope to have her back soon.
What makes this even more frustrating is that Paige Bueckers was finally finding her rhythm. She was averaging an impressive 14.7 points and 6.7 assists per game, and had just become the fastest player in over a decade to hit 40 career assists. The hype was real. She was already being compared to some of the biggest legends in WNBA history, but instead of continuing to grow her game, Bueckers is stuck in concussion protocol, unsure if her next practice will land her back in the emergency room. If you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to subscribe. Meanwhile, her teammate DiJonai Carrington continues to wreak havoc, not just on the opposing team, but on her own teammates too. Her aggressive style looks less like basketball and more like something out of a UFC match. And we're not just talking about vague claims. There's real footage and a growing pattern of violent plays. In one of her most recent outbursts, Carrington literally yanked Los Angeles Sparks guard Sarah Ashley Barker down by the hair. It looked more like an assault than a basketball move. Even the announcers were stunned. One pointed out that if Barker had extensions, they would have been ripped right out. Yet somehow Carrington only got called for a common foul, not a flagrant, not an ejection. Just another example of how this kind of behavior keeps getting overlooked.
Up until this point, I think quite a few of DiJonai's flagrants and dirty plays, or sorry, not dirty plays, dangerous plays, could be explained off as her getting almost too excited, trying to get a block and just doing reckless things. Whereas this play cannot be explained off by that. This play cannot be explained off by that. And like, you've got the this is the commentator. This is the commentator
Whoa! But wait, there's more. Earlier this season, DiJonai Carrington delivered a dangerous, flagrant foul on Jessica Shepard that almost took out Paige Bueckers too. With just over 4 minutes left in the third quarter, Carrington came flying in on a fast break and threw a forearm that easily could have ended someone's career. The refs upgraded it to a flagrant one, but let's be real, that light punishment didn't even come close to solving the bigger issue. And who can forget the infamous eye poke? Carrington's deliberate shot at Caitlin Clark back in 2024 left the Rookie of the Year playing with a black eye for weeks. The slow motion replay clearly showed Carrington curling her fingers and aiming her nails right at Clark's face. Yet still, no real punishment, no suspension, nothing. The WNBA stayed completely silent, and that silence basically told Carrington it was okay to keep playing this dangerously.
Dude, keep DiJonai Carrington far away from my team, man. Keep DiJonai Carrington far away from my team. There's a difference between playing hard and just playing reckless. Playing hard and playing dirty. Playing hard and playing like DiJonai Carrington. There is a huge difference.
Is if having DiJonai Carrington as a teammate wasn't already a nightmare, Paige Bueckers also has to deal with even more drama thanks to Nalissa Smith, who many are now calling the worst player in the WNBA this season. Smith, who also happens to be Carrington's girlfriend, has only added fuel to an already toxic locker room situation. Once seen as a rising star after being drafted second overall back in 2022, Smith's fall has been hard to watch. Statistically, she's now the worst performing player in the league. Her poor play and lack of effort have made her a total liability for the Wings, on and off the court, and things only get worse from there. The relationship between Carrington and Smith has created a locker room vibe that's anything but healthy. While Bueckers is trying to focus on recovering and helping her team win, she's stuck dealing with two teammates who seem more invested in their personal relationship than the success or safety of the squad. It gets even more disturbing when you look at how they act off the court. During an Instagram live, the two actually made fun of the Caitlin Clark eye poke controversy. Smith accidentally poked Carrington in the eye, and instead of taking it seriously, they laughed it off and joked about the entire situation, mocking the very real concerns people had after Carrington's attack on Clark. That kind of behavior says it all. No professionalism, no accountability, and zero respect for the players who've been hurt.
Bag DiJonai. She has been on a crime spree. That's right, folks. She has been on a crime spree, robbing the WNBA blind, masquerading as a professional basketball player when in reality, she is just a reckless athlete that understands the concept of basketball. A reckless athlete that understands the concept.
Commissioner Kathy Engelbert loves to talk about growing the WNBA and bringing in new fans, but when it comes to protecting players, she's been completely silent. While DiJonai Carrington continues putting others at risk with her reckless style of play, the league has done absolutely nothing. No suspension for poking Caitlin Clark in the eye, no real punishment for that dangerous hit on Jessica Shepard, and not a single consequence after yanking Sarah Ashley Barker down by the hair. It's like the WNBA's disciplinary system is just someone shaking a Magic 8 ball and hoping for the best. But this isn't just frustrating, it's dangerous. Every time Carrington steps on the court without consequences, the risk of another serious injury goes up, and the message the league is sending: if you're talented enough, you can do whatever you want, even if it would count as assault anywhere else. That kind of inaction doesn't just hurt the players, it breaks the fairness of the game. When one team has someone constantly crossing the line, opponents are stuck choosing between getting hurt, trying to match that level of aggression, or playing scared and distracted. Either way, it's not basketball, it's chaos.
Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner, Adam Silver, the NBA's commissioner, they need to continue to have pressure put on them, the league as a whole, until they decide to do something. Like, look, when I see a $100,000 fine come out, and I understand what their salaries are, I don't care. Till I see something like that, till I see what really ought to be like a 10-game suspension or something like that. There should be something significant that is going to send a message saying that there is no longer going to be this tolerance for this kind of dirty play.
The Dallas Wings organization deserves serious criticism for the environment they've created, because let's be real, they knew exactly what they were doing when they signed DiJonai Carrington. This wasn't a surprise. It wasn't a case of a player developing bad habits after joining the team. This was a choice, a deliberate one, to bring in someone with a well-known history of reckless and dangerous play. What did they think was going to happen? That Carrington would suddenly change her stripes just because she switched jerseys? That her past incidents, targeting high-profile players and crossing the line, were just a phase she'd grow out of? Signing her wasn't just questionable, it was careless, maybe even negligent. Now the Wings have Paige Bueckers, one of the brightest young stars the WNBA has seen in years, sharing a locker room with someone who treats basketball like it's a full-contact combat sport. Bueckers came into the league with sky-high expectations. Fans were already dreaming of deep playoff runs, record-breaking games, and a franchise turnaround. But instead, she's learning that the biggest threat to her career might be inside her own team. By putting winning above safety, the Wings sent a dangerous message. And when something happens, when Carrington inevitably injures a teammate or opponent, this team won't be able to claim ignorance. They'll have to admit they saw it coming and did nothing. Now imagine what this means for Paige Bueckers. She should be fully focused on adjusting to the pro level and building on her incredible start. 14.7 points, 6.7 assists, and 4.7 rebounds per game through her first 6 appearances. She even carried the team to its only win of the season, dropping 21 points and 7 assists against Connecticut. She became the fastest player in over a decade to reach 40 career assists. People were already comparing her to WNBA legends, but none of that matters if she ends up sidelined again because of Carrington's dangerous actions. And here's the real tragedy. Paige probably came into the league thinking she was stepping into a professional, competitive, and safe basketball culture. But instead, she's found herself in a locker room where her own teammate is just as much of a threat as anyone on the opposing team. That kind of pressure, never knowing if the next practice or game might lead to another injury, is more than just physically dangerous. It's mentally exhausting. Every close play, every physical possession, every drill becomes a risk. And that's not the league Paige or any player deserves.
Everybody's waiting now. All eyes on the commissioner. What's the punishment going to be? Is there going to be a punishment? Guys, if Caitlin Clark started dishing out fouls like this, Al Sharpton would be walking the streets. They would claim that Caitlin Clark literally had pitchforks and was wearing white sheets on the court if this was happening and Caitlin Clark was dishing out these kind of fouls. All right, and do we even want to call them fouls? I mean, look, they're worse than fouls.
Commissioner Kathy Engelbert needs to take action now. It doesn't matter if DiJonai Carrington's dangerous behavior happened last week or last month. The WNBA can't sit back any longer. A retroactive suspension might seem unusual, but let's be honest. This situation isn't normal. When a player repeatedly puts others at risk and damages the league's integrity, something must be done, even if it should have happened sooner. Carrington should be hit with at least a 10-game suspension for her repeated reckless behavior. And if anything happens again, the penalties should get tougher. No warnings, no excuses. Eye pokes, hair pulling, and clearly intentional moves meant to injure should come with automatic suspensions, period. And for players who keep crossing the line, harsher punishments every time. More than anything, the WNBA needs to make this loud and clear. Being talented does not give you a free pass to be dangerous. Skill doesn't excuse behavior that can end someone's career. As for Paige Bueckers, the best move might be something much bigger. She should seriously think about asking for a trade. No rookie, especially one with her kind of potential, should have to walk into practice wondering if her own teammate might be the one to hurt her. That's not basketball, that's chaos. The Dallas Wings created this mess when they decided to sign Carrington, knowing exactly what they were getting. Now they have a choice to make: protect the future of their franchise, or stick with the player who's turning the locker room into a liability.
Paige Bueckers has been cleared. She officially will be available to play tomorrow after missing 4 games. She was out for concussion protocol and then she was sick. She had an illness. So she is back. She's good to go. But this does beg the question, what are they going to do with Ty Harris? Because that's a loss and they need help. They need help. and the power of friendship isn't going to fix this one.
DiJonai Carrington's continued presence in the WNBA without facing real consequences is a glaring example of everything wrong with the league's handling of player safety and discipline. From the eye poke on Caitlin Clark to the constant risk she brings to her own teammates. Like Paige Bueckers, Carrington has made it clear she's not afraid to cross the line, even when it puts others in danger. Now the WNBA is at a turning point. They can either keep turning a blind eye and hope this issue magically disappears, risking more careers being cut short by completely avoidable injuries, or they can finally step up and make a real change. It's time to protect their athletes and stand up for the integrity of the game. The next move the league makes says everything about what kind of future they want for women's basketball.